So, hi, my Candy Beauty fam. So, I'm beyond excited to introduce this guest. I mean, she needs no introduction, but she shall get an introduction because she is just that iconic. So, I am so honored to welcome the one and only Danessa Myricks here to the My Candy Beauty fam. She is CEO, founder, creative visionary behind the award winning Danessa Myricks Beauty. And you've just been so transformative and innovative in the beauty industry, and we're just so honored to have you.
Thank
This
you.
is a big moment for my
Who
Candy
made you
Beauty.
say that? Who wrote that for you? I
No
owe
one made
the
me
money.
say
I
anything.
owe the money.
It's all very true, and she's just an amazing soul as well.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you for having me. This is going to be so fun.
Of course, of course. All right, so we're gonna get right into
All
it.
right, I'm ready.
All right, so your journey into the beauty industry is unconventional but deeply inspiring. So can you take us back to the moment you decided to bet on yourself and pursue beauty full time, and like what gave you the courage to do that?
I don't know if it was courageous. I think, you ever had those moments where it's like you just feel something in your gut and you know that there's a big decision that you need to make. I don't think I had any awareness as to how it worked out or where it could even lead me. I just knew I didn't want to do what I was doing before. And so I think just going back felt more painful than moving forward and trying something different. But essentially, I think I was just like anybody else. Like, my parents, like probably all parents who have children my age, for them, everything was aggressively hard. And all they saw for themselves was that their children be able to be better. And at that point, my parents were like, it's the corporate job that's going to get you there, So I was just very much obsessed with, okay, do something corporate because that means security. But I found out that that's not necessarily true, right? And so I was lucky enough to be displaced from a corporate job after having the experience of being exposed to beauty in a way that felt positive and in a way that I got a glimpse of like, I can be in this space because for the most part, for most of my life, like I was literally like, beauty is for all those other people and then there's me, right? I was working at a publishing company and they published Black hair magazines. And my job was to sell photo shoots and, rally the models and the talent for the shoots. And so I got an opportunity to see two things that I think were very impactful for me. One, the talent, seeing the makeup artists and the photographers like have this independent career. They were in control of when they worked, who they worked with. They were able to dress how they wanted. Like nobody was telling them how to wear your hair, what was appropriate. They all had their own identity, which I thought was amazing that people could show up in a work environment as themselves. So that really was impactful, and that they had control of their lives, their income. But I think what even put me over the edge was seeing the transformations of the people who came to the shoot. It was hairstylists bringing their clientele, and I saw people who looked just like me. I saw people who looked like my cousin, my auntie, whomever, and I got to see beauty through a different lens, different than what I was seeing on TV and in magazines. I'm like, oh, these are people who look like me. They're beautiful. Their makeup was beautiful in the end. They felt good. And I was like, well, there is a place where beauty for people who look like me is celebrated. And so I think just having the context of those two things at once, being inspired by having the opportunity to play in that space, actually just even seeing it as an opportunity, because prior to that, I didn't even know that it existed. And so I've always had like a little creative bug in me, but for me, it was always a separation. You have your creative things, and then you have, this is how you make money. And I never put those two things together, right? So I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. So it was like a perfect storm of all of those things coming together. And I was just like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a makeup artist. At that time, I didn't really wear makeup. Blue eyeliner was my jam because that's what my mom taught me. And so I had a lot of learning to do. But I think it was great because I was exposed in a way, like I had no previous training. There was no school I can go to, and if there was, I couldn't afford it. I was a single mom, 2 kids, and I was thinking about eating first.
Yeah.
But it really gave me an opportunity to explore the space freely, because for me there were no rules. It was like, I'm gonna read these books. I read the Kevin Aquan book. I read Sam Fine's book. I was like, I'm gonna read these books and figure it out, because I'm a Virgo, and so we think we can read anything and do
And it's
it.
like,
yeah,
snap your fingers.
Little did I know that doesn't quite work in this space, but at least I had some direction. And then from there, it was just like, I'm just going to learn as much as I can learn. And I knew the only way that I can learn is to just ask for exposure to the space. So I was literally just asking to volunteer any way I can. And that was the beginning to how, we're sitting here today talking about
space
this journey.
Office. Y'all, I got a tour. It's amazing.
Thank you.
So obviously, it's like you picked up the brush, but what made you decide to push it even further to become Danessa Myricks Beauty?
I don't think I ever thought about being Danessa Myricks Beauty. I was first thinking about being Danessa Myricks and embarking on a new career. And honestly, if I can be very honest, I wasn't even thinking about being Danessa Myricks. I was like, how can I be Sam Fine? Because, you know what I mean? My identity was not part of it. I was just like, these are the people who are successful. This is the best of the best. How can I be them? And literally, that's what my whole focus was. But I think, as I found my own way and I found my own aesthetic, and I began to figure things out and develop my own style and my own energy, that's when I began to be like, okay, how can I be Danessa Myricks, the makeup artist? And what does that mean? And for me, a lot of that confidence came from people asking me to teach them how to do makeup, which for me was baffling, because I was like, y'all think I know? I don't know. I'm figuring this thing out every day. I have no idea. But it was actually really cool and made me feel like, oh, well, at least it's resonating in some way. And I started doing these classes, and I just really felt so fulfilled for a lot of reasons. One was I had the opportunity to earn money in a different way through this career, like teaching. Who knew? It wasn't even something that crossed my mind. But it was also very validating that what people were seeing was something that they felt was worth paying to learn how to do. So, for every class I did, the more my confidence built. If that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So obviously, Mind Candy Beauty, we're all about uplifting Black voices in beauty. So it flows seamlessly into this next question. So you've built a brand that feels like it truly sees people and it sees you and I. So what does inclusivity actually mean to you beyond the buzzword? And how has that shaped everything from your brand identity to your formulations to all your beautifully diverse campaigns?
Wow, that's a big question. And there's a million different ways that I can answer that. But I think the easiest way for me to answer it is this brand was a solve to the things that I was feeling. I felt so disconnected, nowhere did I see myself represented. I had so many concerns that I couldn't address because there wasn't anything there for me. I didn't see myself. I actually felt very unattractive. Honestly, I always felt that I was ugly, and people told me over and over that I was ugly. So I didn't have a sense of what beauty means for me. And I know how that made me feel for years and years and years, and how uncomfortable that is, how I know all of those nights on my pillow, crying alone. I really didn't want anybody to feel like that. And the brand was a solve for that. And I knew it wasn't just about a skin tone, because it's an obvious thing. People didn't have shades, and so for me that's baseline. But it was really about people not feeling like they matter because they weren't part of the conversation. And when I think of it in that way, it's way beyond race. It's way beyond an age. It's way beyond somebody's sexual orientation. It's really allowing people to express themselves and show up as they are, and feeling empowered and confident in that space, and feeling important, feeling like somebody sees them and they matter, that they're not trying to change them. They're just trying to support whatever this experience or this expression that they're having in the beauty space. Like, for me, that was really important. And I had the privilege, through being a makeup artist and an educator, to travel all around the world. And I know that this experience wasn't just unique for me. I saw people of every skin tone, every age, every race, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we every one of them had a feeling of disconnection for some reason or another. So for me, it was about, what if I can create a safe space in beauty? And what would that feel like? What would need to be present in order for people to feel safe here? What would they need to see? And then also, like, I got to see all different kinds of makeup and different expressions of makeup. And I wanted anybody who came to participate in the brand, they had the thing that they needed to do the thing that they wanted to do, right? And it was very much non-traditional. And so I just wanted this to be this amazing playground of color and texture and like high performing tools. I wanted people to feel confident, like the things that I was making made their beauty experience easier. And I want them to feel like they belong. And so that really is why the brand is here and why I create the way I do. I'm considering everyone at all times in everything that I make. And I know everyone is a big word, but
I feel like it really is everyone. Like when I'm in places like the makeup show and things like that, like everyone from all class, creeds, races, like I loved Danessa Myricks Beauty. I love this product. And I'm like, this is amazing that it's like really transcended the community as well.
I love that you see that. I love that that's, what you feel and what you see when you see people interact with the brand, because for me, that's what's most important. And, I'm there having all these intimate conversations with people. I know what they say to me, and I remember their faces. I remember their voices. I look everyone in the eye, like they are inside of me. So I couldn't imagine, like, forgetting about them when I'm making something. Like, for me, it's just...
I know you have like such a warm energy. I remember when I first met you, I was like, she's so approachable and she's so
I
nice. But
appreciate
I was like,
that.
you look stunning, and I was like, do I go up? Do I say hi?
Oh my God, please! Like, I mean, it's really weird and off-putting for me sometimes when people like have that reaction, because I'm like, I am just me. Like, literally, I don't consider myself in that way. I honestly feel like we're all in this thing together. I literally feel like I'm meeting peers and friends, and I'm just meeting different versions of myself when I meet people. It's so interesting for me. I'm more excited to meet whoever's coming to say hi. Trust me, because I just want to know. I just want to know, like, are they okay? Like, what are they saying? What are they feeling that's missing? I really just want to hear their voices. So it's just it's very interesting.
Yeah, and you can tell that like you really incorporate like that feedback and what you hear from people into your brand.
Oh yeah, it's super important.
Mm-hmm.
I drive everybody crazy everywhere over the world. Every lab that I go to, I don't care. I'm like, you don't know Monica. I know Monica. If I don't get
like,
this right,
this is what she needs.
This is what she needs. Yeah.
Amazing. So, again, at Mind Can Beauty, we love celebrating creativity as well. And you touch all points of the brand. You are the face of your brand. So, how do you stay creatively nourished and inspired while you're also running this growing global beauty brand?
It's tricky sometimes, right?
Because burnout is real.
Yeah, no, it is. And I feel it often happens when I disconnect from anything that has to do with beauty. I'm forever a student. And so the way I turn this switch off and so that I can turn something else on is to do something completely different. So whether it's reading a book, whether it's listening to a podcast, movie, like any space that I can learn about a different industry, a different part of the world, as soon as I disconnect in that way, like literally all the lights turn on and the creativity turns on for what I'm doing here with the brand. It's just really interesting. Like when I just need to step away. But I also feel, well, I know I'm very hyper sensitive and cautious about the people who I have around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much affected by people's energy. And I'm really making sure I'm building, a team or an environment here for the brand where that good energy is always
Mm-hmm.
flowing. I'm feeling inspired by the people around me. I mean, you had a chance to walk around the office. Like, we have everyone from every walk of life, from every age, from every part of the world, different
Mm-hmm.
languages. It's like, all of that inspires me. Everybody has their own aesthetic, their own vibe, and I
Mm-hmm.
think the more I have, people with good vibes and differentiation,
Mm-hmm.
I stay inspired. If that
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
that's
Yeah.
important to keep different people around you. Yeah,
Yeah, at
yeah.
all times.
Love
Yeah.
that. Love that. So, as a self-taught artist and founder, you've obviously shattered so many ceilings. So, what do you say to people who feel like they're either starting too late or they just don't have the right connections?
I mean, I would say, look at my story. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't start doing makeup till I was 30. I mean, I didn't start having like real success with the brand until I was in my 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't feel like the brand really started to really grow at a rapid pace and thrive until 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was 50 years old.
See, never too late.
So, I mean, I think the thing that always resonates with me and what I've learned from just reading other people's stories. That's why I just tell people, like, talk to as many people as you can. Read other people's stories. You'll realize that you are right where you're supposed to be at the
Mm-hmm.
time you're supposed to be there for your own personal journey. And it's a conversation I'm constantly having with myself. Um, I think that feeling of it's too late for me comes from comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only way you can say that is by looking at someone else. But
Mm-hmm.
if you look at your own individual, unique journey, you'll realize this could have never happened for me any other moment than right now.
Mm-hmm.
And all of those terrible things or those moments that I didn't love prepared me for where I am right now, right? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when you look at it against your own journey, you realize
It's like you're your own competition. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is the moment. This is the time. This is the only time it could have been, right? And so, to answer your question, the time that you decide is the right time. That was the right time for
Mm-hmm.
you. The moment you take action, it's the right time. It was the right time for you. You weren't
Mm-hmm.
able to do it any other moment, but then. If you feel it in your gut, if something is nudging you, poking you, like you just know
Mm-hmm.
that's the right time,
Yeah.
right? And then you just kind of figure it out. It's really about, there was a Rumi quote, and I know I'm going to say it all wrong, but essentially, it's like the path is going to unfold in front of you. It's through action you find what your next,
Mm-hmm.
where your path is leading
Mm-hmm.
you, not through sitting still. You have to be doing
Okay.
in order to
Yeah.
figure out what's
Mm-hmm.
next, if that makes sense,
Totally.
right?
Totally.
And I mean, my journey, just looking back at my journey, I'll tell you the path unfolds. It literally will unfold in front of you if
Mm-hmm.
you're just doing something.
You just gotta get
You
started.
just gotta
Yeah.
start. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I know congratulations are in order for a recent product launch that you had that sold out. I think literally that morning as soon
Yeah.
as it
Before 10
launched.
o'clock, it was gone. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes.
So when that happens, obviously it's like you can never really plan for it,
No.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in the lab and you're testing products, like do you know you're like, okay, like this is gonna be it? Like how do you know?
I mean, I think you never know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could only pray. You never know, but I usually know. Like, I just trust my gut.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to explain. I know when it feels right,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really hope that everybody else can appreciate it. But I also feel, I have such an amazing team around me, and if there's any artists who are listening or creatives, like sometimes but you really can't put the words together to articulate it, to explain it to other people, and just to make it feel as real for them too.
Mm-hmm.
It's always something that I struggled with, like um, getting people to see what I see. And so I'm grateful for the team that I have around
Mm-hmm.
me because I feel like I have the strongest team ever. And I could just rattle on with all my Danessa isms. And then they were like, okay, so what you're saying is...
They know how to translate.
Right. So I have so many people around me who can translate me and to who just will tell me this, I don't get it. And if everybody around me is not getting it, that just means there's more work I need to do with communicating it. And I think just over time, I've just learned, especially with the support of the people around me, to communicate the ideas more fully, more robust. And so when we launch something, like, people really feel it and they really get it. So it's not me, it's them, it's the team. Yeah, I'm grateful to have really amazing people around me. Yeah,
amazing. So I love following your Instagram, and I love all the quotes that you post.
Thanks.
So you often speak about creating without limits. So how do you push past fear or self-doubt when whether it's stepping into new chapters or launching a new product or showing up even more as the founder and face of the brand?
I mean, I think I learned this when I was 18 or 19, reading someone's book, Fear is False Evidence Appearing Real, right? And I've just trained myself, like, this is something that I'm feeling. It doesn't mean that it's reality. And so I've just learned to feel the fear and do it anyway. And I think the more you do that, the more you prove yourself wrong. The more you can just take action, you'll realize that all of those things that you had in your head weren't real. And so you become it's like a muscle. You become more able to do it the next time and the next time. Like, it's really just taking the first step. The more you conquer fear, the more you're able to, if that makes sense. So it's always scary. I'm scared every day. I tell people I'm always scared. I'm scared of everything. Yes. I mean, and I feel it, and I'm like, okay, this is scary. Let's see what happens. You know, and I just think, like, all of those moments where I just decided to just do it anyway, like, got us to where we are here today. And if there were any of those moments that didn't happen, that I didn't just feel the fear, this could be a different brand. We may not even be talking today, right?
Sure, yeah.
And so I just try and keep that in my mind. But I mean, it's never going away. I think if you just realize, especially as an entrepreneur, as an artist, that you're always going to be scared, then you don't, it's always going to, so you just can move on. You know what I mean?
You're like, this is going to be a forever feeling.
Yes, it's a forever
move
feeling.
It to the back.
Exactly. So you could just move on.
Yeah. So for young female founders of color trying to break through in this industry, especially without outside funding or big backing, because obviously we know, like, as a Black female founder, funding, it's only 1%. Right?
If not less than. Yeah.
So there's a lot of work to be done in that space. So what's one mindset shift or lesson that was pivotal for you that you would like to just pass on?
I would think about so many things. I think we've always had to do more with less, just as a people. I think that muscle we have flexed over it.
We know how to work in
like,
scarcity.
We got really big muscles for that, right? And I think, one of the things that I had to get out of my mind is that I needed someone else in order to do what I needed to do. Because if I were to hold on to that, again, we wouldn't be here today. It was really about always finding a way. And I think what I've learned, like, hindsight is always 20/20. If I had the support, monetary support of someone else, if we got funding early on, we would have lost a lot of the creativity on how we move and how we create, because we wouldn't have had to flex that muscle, because we can just say, oh, here's money. But it's so valuable to be able to just trust yourself, use your own mind, your own creativity, learn how to flex, be disruptive in the way that you're thinking, and then have that in your toolkit. So when money does come, that money will multiply tenfold because you really know how to use it and not abuse it. So I'm actually grateful that we didn't have the person to say, hey, I help you along the way. Like, really, that happened very recently for the brand. But we had demonstrated over and over again how much we can do with so little. Our team was trained to like maximize every gift that we have, anything that we know how to do. Okay, well, just let's dial it up to 1,000. It's what's got us here. So actually, there's a lot of ways that you can look at it. I
love that positive spin on it.
yeah, I think we underestimate what we're capable of. I know I've underestimated myself oftentimes, but you are stronger than you think you are. That's what I would say to them. You're way stronger than you think you are. You're more capable than you think you are. To trust yourself and just trust the just trust with what comes when you are super passionate about something and when forward is the only direction that you're focused on. Just trust what happens when you live in that space. And you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised.
Yeah. So on the opposite end of that, it's like, how have you personally like pivoted from being, knocked down? Like, I know it's a broad question.
Yeah,
but it's
but
like
I
everything
feel like
has,
No, it's a great question. And honestly, I mentor a lot of founders and a lot of people who are looking to get started. And what I tell them, because now hindsight for me is so crystal clear, it's not just about working on your business. You have to be working on yourself the whole time, because your business is going to be as strong as you are. So I'm always trying to, for me, if I would just speak from my own example, I'm constantly reading, taking a workshop, reading a quote, writing in a journal, whatever it's going to take to just feed my own, to fuel my own self-care, my own mental strength. It's super important, because that's what you're going to rely on in those moments where it's like, am I going to give up or I'm going to move forward, right? And so I'm constantly working on me to the point, like, I'm sickening to the people around me, like, which is why the quotes are there. Those, when I post those quotes, I'm talking to myself.
Because they resonate with so many people.
I'm literally talking to myself. Like, I don't know if you ever notice, if you string all of those quotes together, it's like somebody's talking to you in a paragraph or in a conversation. And because I'm talking to myself, it's conversations that I'm constantly having with myself. And I'm like, oh, if I'm feeling this, if this is what I need to hear, I know that someone else needs to hear it too. But it's the work. It's like, we're always working on two things, ourselves and our business, and one is not more important than the other. And if you can keep those two things together throughout the journey, you're going to go way, way further. So I'm constantly encouraging people to just don't forget about you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, we're actually at our last question here.
No way!
Yeah. So you've been building and you've built something amazing, and it just continues to grow. So when you look at the legacy that you are building, not just as a beauty founder, but as just this creative force in the industry and transformative force, what do you hope people will feel when they say the name Danessa Myricks?
I hope that they say, I can do that too. I really think about what I'm doing right now as being I'm creating possibility for someone else. They always say you got to see it to know you can be it. And I hope that somebody can see my example and know what's possible for them. And that would be an incredible legacy if I'm able to tell that story. That because of me just deciding to take that next step, it opened up a door or a window of opportunity for someone else.
Amazing. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here and being a part of this.
Thank you. Thank you for this
It's such an honor.
conversation. No, you're incredible. I appreciate just you even allowing me to share my story.
Thank you.
You're an incredible interviewer too.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
this time went by so fast, so there's that.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
a wrap.